have to discuss today applications of semiconductors. Okay, uses of semiconductors. Is it right? Uses of semiconductors. Semiconductors bandaginda we started using radios. Am I right? After the discovery of semiconductors, we started using radios, then calculators, computers, okay, televisions, ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಂದಿರೋದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬಂದಿರೋದು ಸೆಮಿಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್ಸಿಂದ. ಓಕೆ, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸಪ್ರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದು ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸಿಂದ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಮಿಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ರೆವಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಭಾಳಷ್ಟು ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಯಿತು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ದು ಬೆಲೆ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಮೊದಲೆಲ್ಲ ಯಾವುದು ಮೊಬೈಲ್ಸ್ ರೇಟ್ ತುಂಬ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಇವಾಗೆಲ್ಲ 500 ರೂಪಾಯಿ, 1000 ರೂಪಾಯಿಗೆ, 1500 ರೂಪಾಯಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಅದೇ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ದು ಬೆಲೆ ಒಂದು 5 to 10 years ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ 6, 7, 8,000ವರೆಗೂ ಇರ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಓಕೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ರೆವಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೆಮಿಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ this is taking place and it will continue to take place. Okay, we are now using nanotechnology. Okay, adu hange nano means 10 raised to minus 9, pico technology barutte 10 raised to minus 12, hage adu reduce aagta hogutte. Okay, so ee technology development aagtane irutte because of revolution in the semiconductors. So we use semiconductors because semiconductors have low electrical conductivity. Metals have very high electrical conductivity. That much high electrical conductivity is not required for electronic goods. Low potential, low capacity, low conductivity is required. So we use semiconductors. Okay, semiconductors are used in the form of resistors, right? That is in the form of diodes, in the form of transistors, in the form of solar cells. Okay, diode is a combination of n-type and p-type semiconductors, whereas transistor is a sandwich of n-type and p-type. Either p-type is sandwiched between n-type or n-type is sandwiched between p-type. So NPN semiconductors are PNP semiconductors. So these are called as transistors, which are used to detect the radio signals or audio signals and also amplify the radio signals or audio signals. Illa amplification nadita ide nodi, nadita idella amplification. Volume ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Okay, this is possible because of transistors. And solar cells are there. Solar cells ಅಲ್ಲಿ amorphous silicon use ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Solids lesson ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. Amorphous silicon is used in photovoltaic cells, that is solar cells, in which we convert solar energy into heat and electrical energy. So all these are the general applications of transistors. Okay, we are using silicon and germanium as semiconductors. Is it right? Pure semiconductors. And we also know extrinsic semiconductors, that is semiconductors, silicon and germanium crystals are amorphous solids doped with p-type and that is trivalent and pentavalent impurities. Other than this, silicon germanium ಹೇಗೆ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅದನ್ನ ಪ್ಯೂರಿಫಿಕೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ tedious process that you learn in the isolation of elements lesson. Isolation of elements. There is one inorganic chemistry lesson. After alcohols lesson, the person who is teaching alcohol lesson will commence what? One more lesson called as isolation of elements, where you are going to learn metallurgy, how to manufacture metals from their ores, how to purify them. So in that lesson you will understand what is the difficulty in isolating the elements, what is the difficulty in isolating the purifying the elements. It is a costly process. Therefore cost of the metal is more. ಮೆಟಲ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಪ್ಯೂರಿಫಿಕೇಷನ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಓರ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಮೆಟಲ್ ಬೆಲೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಸಿಲಿಕಾನ್ ಜರ್ಮೇನಿಯಂ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಾತ್ರ ಸಿಗೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ನಮಗೆ? ಎಲ್ಲ ಅದರದ್ದು ಮಿನರಲ್ ತೆಗಿಬೇಕು, ಓರ್ ತೆಗಿಬೇಕು, ಐಸೋಲೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಪ್ಯೂರಿಫಿಕೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ tedious process, very expensive method. So alternate semiconductors are required. Okay, alternate semiconductors na ಹುಡುಕೋದಕ್ಕೆ we should know what actually the semiconductor silicon and germanium are. In silicon and germanium, these two, silicon and germanium, belongs to 14th group. Is it right? They belong to group 14. Carbon, silicon, germanium, okay, indium ide, no, tin and lead. So these are the elements in the 14th group. Only silicon and germanium are in this group. There is an electronic configuration of ns2, np2, 4 electrons are there, tetravalency is there. These are conducting electricity because of presence of 4 valence electrons. Tetravalency. Okay, why carbon is not used as a semiconductor? Think of this, get answer, get explanation for this. Carbon is in 14th group, carbon also has 4 valence electrons. Why carbon is not used? But immediately after carbon, don't give answer now, think antande, naale naddu discuss madana. Okay, carbon is like silicon, it is tetravalent. Why carbon is not used as a semiconductor? Graphite is a good electrical conductor. Good conductors ಒಳಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ graphite. Why it is other forms of carbons are not used as semiconductors? Think of it. Okay, so let it be. 4 valence electrons are there. Because of the 4 valence electrons, silicon and germanium are used as semiconductors. So based on this, scientists started thinking of doing something different semiconducting materials. So they clubbed 2 elements whose valence electrons, average valence electron should become 4. Okay, the average electrons become 4 means 2 plus 6 divided by 2 is 4, 3 plus 5 divided by 2 is equal to 4. So what they started thinking that 12th group element is combined with 16th group element. 12th group elements are zinc, cadmium, mercury. 16th group elements are, okay, I have to start from here. 16 group elements are oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium. Okay, zinc combined with sulfur, zinc sulfide. Cadmium combined with sulfur, cadmium sulfide. Zinc sulfide, cadmium sulfide. Cadmium combined with selenium, cadmium selenide. Mercury combined with selenium, combined with tellurium, mercury telluride. Okay, mercury selenide. So see the total number of valence electrons. In zinc, 2 electrons are there, 2 valence electrons are there, ns2 in the 12th group, because n minus 1d is completely filled here. In the 12th group elements, if you see the electronic configuration of zinc, 30 electrons are there in the zinc atom. The electronic configuration is argon 18. Argon 18, 3d10, 4s2. Okay, actually 4s2, then 3d10. See the total number of electrons, 30. 3d orbital is completely filled. That is also there in the cadmium. Cadmium 48, krypton 36. Krypton atomic number 36. Okay, 5s2, 4d10. See, 4d orbital is completely filled. So these electrons do not participate in the bonding. Only ns2, that is 2 electrons, participate in the bonding. These 2 are valence electrons in the 12th group. In the 16th group, the electronic configuration is ns2, np4. How many valence electrons are there? 6. 6 plus 2, 8. Average 4. So average is 4. So these materials, these are the compounds which are obtained from the 12th and 16th group elements, have got an average of 4 valence electrons per atom. Therefore, these are also must conduct like semiconductors. It is proved also. It is proved also. Okay. Likewise, 13th group elements combined with 15th group elements. 13th group elements are boron, aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium. 15th group nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, bismuth. Okay. Aluminium phosphide, ALP, aluminium phosphide, aluminium nitride, ALN, gallium arsenide, gallium arsenide, indium stibnite ಅಥವಾ ಇಂಡಿಯಮ್ ಏನಿದು ಆಂಟಿಮೊನೈಡ್, ಆಂಟಿಮೊನಿ ಇದು ಟಿನ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಟಿನ್ ಯಾವ್ದು ಹೇಳಿ, SN is tin, okay, it is not tin. What is this? Antimony. Indium antimonide, SNSB. Like this, these are the compounds which are having average of 4 valence electrons, which are used as now revolutionary semiconductors. They are very fast in response compared to silicon and germanium and compared to extrinsic semiconductors. ಸೊ ಸೆಮಿಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್ಸು ಮತ್ತು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಕ್ ಸೆಮಿಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ಗಿಂತ ಈ ನ್ಯೂಲಿ ಮಾಡಿಫೈಡ್, ನ್ಯೂಲಿ discovered semiconductors are very fast in response. So this kind of semiconductors are nowadays used in the electronic goods. Okay. So other than this, there are some transition metal compounds, metal oxides, transition metal oxides which are showing the behavior of metals. Metals ತರ conductivity ಇದೆ, they are not metals, they are metallic oxides like titanium oxide, chromium oxide, rhenium oxide. Rhenium is a transition metal, chromium is a transition metal, titanium is a transition metal. These behave like metals. Metals ತರನೇ, ನೋಡೋಕ್ಕೂ metals ತರ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ, appearance ಕೂಡ metal ತರ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ. They show the conductivity equal to those of metals. We need not want any metal now. We can get metal oxide. It is available in the form of mineral in the earth's crust. ಅದನ್ನು ಐಸೋಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದೇ ಬೇಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಅದನ್ನ ಪ್ಯೂರಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ವಾಟ್, ಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ರೀನಿಯಮ್ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಟು ಕಾಪರ್ ಮೆಟಲ್. ನೋಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾಪರ್ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ, ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಕಂಡಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಕಾಪರ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. Among all metals, tell me which is highest electrical conducting metal? Silver. Next ಯಾವುದು? Copper. Next ಯಾವುದು? Aluminium. Next ಇರೋದು ಅಲ್ಯೂಮಿನಿಯಂ. ಸೊ ಅಷ್ಟು ಹೈ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಯಾವುದಿಗಿದೆ? ರೀನಿಯಂ ಟ್ರೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಇದೆ, ಮೋನೋ ರೀನಿಯಂ ಟ್ರೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್, ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ವಾಟ್? ಕಾಪರ್. Likewise, there are certain metal oxides like vanadium oxide, vanadium dioxide, vanadium trioxide, titanium dioxide. So these can behave like metals, that is metallic conductors, as well as insulators. ಒಂದು ಸರಿ ಇನ್ಸುಲೇಟರ್ ಥರ ಬಿಹೇವ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸರಿ ಮೆಟಲ್ ಥರ ಬಿಹೇವ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಡಿಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಚೇಂಜ್ ದ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್, ದೇ ಮೇ ಬಿಹೇವ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಇನ್ಸುಲೇಟರ್ಸ್. ಅಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಅದರ್ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ ದೇ ಬಿ ಶೋ ಮೆಟಾಲಿಕ್ ಬಿಹೇವಿಯರ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಕಂಡಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್, ಹೈ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ, ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ಹೈ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ತೋರಿಸುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ಲೋಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ತೋರಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ದೀಸ್ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ಸ್, ಮೆಟಾಲಿಕ್ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೀಸ್ ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ವೈಡ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ರೇಡಿಯೋ ಸಿಗ್ನಲ್ಸ್, audio signals, in all electronic goods we are using all these substances. This part is important for competitive exams, all competitive exams. Examples are very important, application is given there, that is very fast in response anta ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರಬೇಕು, ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಗ್ಯಾಲಿಯಂ ಆರ್ಸೆನೈಡ್ is now considered as revolutionized semiconductor. Okay, ರೆವಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿ. ರೀನಿಯಂ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ನೋಡಿ, ರೀನಿಯಂ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಬಿಹೇವ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್, ಶೋ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟೀಸ್ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಟು ಕಾಪರ್. ಸೊ 1 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇದು, ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಚಾಯ್ಸ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ವಿಚ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಫಾಲೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಟು ಕಾಪರ್? ರೀನಿಯಂ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್, ReO3, ರೀನಿಯಂ ಟ್ರೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್. So which of the following metal oxide behaves like metals or insulators depending on the temperature? Remember those oxides, VO, VO2, VO3 and TiO3, titanium trioxide. Okay, so we shall move forward now. So hope you are clear with the semiconductors, conductors, band theory. There are questions in the textbook, you have to solve those questions related to band theory. Okay, you should list the differences between n-type, p-type semiconductors and extrinsic and intrinsic semiconductors. Question ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. List the differences between with examples, okay. List the differences between N-type and P-type semiconductors. Differences between N-type and P-type semiconductors. Next, differences between extrinsic and intrinsic semiconductors. Extrinsic and intrinsic semiconductors. Extrinsic, doped, right? Intrinsic semiconductors. Explain any two applications of semiconductors. Explain any two applications of semiconductors. Question number 1.22 from the textbook. You should answer. Okay. Now let us see magnetic properties. Magnetic properties. Magnetic property, that is behavior of a solid whenever it is placed in the magnetic field. When in the magnetic field, if a substance is placed, how it behaves. That behavior of the substance in the presence of magnetic field is called as magnetic property. Okay, it is called as magnetic property. It may be attracted to the magnetic field. That is, substance is aligning parallel to the magnetic field. ಅದು ಹೇಗಿದೆ magnetic field directional property ಅಲ್ಲ, it has direction ಅಲ್ಲ magnetic field ಗೆ. arrows mention ಮಾಡ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ, electromagnetic theory ಓದಿದ್ದೀರಿ ನೀವು. Any moving charged particle has both electric field as well as magnetic field. Structure of atom ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಿರಲ್ಲ. So electrons ಇಂದ ಬಂದಿದೆ magnetic property. Unpaired electrons ಇಂದ ಬಂದಿರೋದು magnetic property. So whenever a substance is placed in the magnetic field, it gives response. It responds to the magnetic field. That property of the solid is called as magnetic property. Okay. Every solid has one or the other kind of magnetic property. Let us see why they possess magnetic property. The magnetic property is because of presence of electrons. Each and every substance is made up of atoms. Matter consists of smallest indivisible particle called as atom. Given by who stated this? Dalton's atomic theory. Okay. So every atom composed of number of protons and electrons. Protons are not moving, but electrons are moving. Moving charged particle. It is a moving charged particle, so it should develop two types of fields, electrical field as well as magnetic field. We are not taking up that electrical field, we are taking up magnetic field. Okay. This every electron is considered as a tiny magnet. Electron is the tiniest magnet on the earth, and earth is the biggest magnet in the universe anbodu ashte. Hauda? Earth is the biggest magnet and electron is the tiniest magnet. Why this is considered as a magnet? Why? How it has magnetic property? How it is expressed? Magnetic property is expressed in the form of unit 10. What is the unit of magnetic field? Magnetic property, magnetic moment. What is the unit? Bohr magneton alla? Bohr magneton. Okay, let it be. I will explain it. So electron is a charged particle. It is taking round the nucleus. Okay, it is taking round the nucleus. We call this as translation motion, or we call it as we call this kind of the magnetic force or magnetic property obtained by the electron due to this kind of motion is called as angular magnetic moment. Angular magnetic moment. Not only it is revolving round the nucleus, it is spinning about its own axis. We call that magnetic moment as spin magnetic moment. So every electron has two types of magnetic moments, angular magnetic moment and spin magnetic moment. This magnetic moment is very small quantity. This magnetic moment is expressed in the form of one Bohr magneton. It is expressed in the form of Bohr magneton. One Bohr magneton is equal to 9.27 into 10 to the power of minus 24 ampere into square meter, ampere square meter. So that is small value is now expressed in the form of a big value. It is like 1 mole is equal to 6.023 into 10 raised to 23. Very big value. So it is expressed in the form of 1 mole. 1 AMU is equal to 1.66 into 10 raised to minus 27 kilogram. Is it right? So 1.66 into 10 raised to minus 27 kilogram is a very small quantity. It is expressed in the form of 1 AMU. Likewise, electrons are showing or exhibiting very less amount of magnetic moment. It is now expressed in the form of what? Magnetic moment. One Bohr magneton is equal to 9.27 into 10 raised to minus 24 ampere square meter. Okay, so this is theory about how a substance exits or exhibits or possess magnetic moment. We classify the magnetic moment now. There are 5 different types of magnetic moments. One is called as paramagnetism. Paramagnetism. Okay, second one is called as a diamagnetism. Diamagnetism. Okay, third one called as ferromagnetism. Ferromagnetism. Fourth one called as antiferromagnetism. Okay, and the fifth one is called as ferrimagnetism. Let us understand all these things. Okay, one by one togolta hogona. We should know the differences between any two types of the magnetic property also. Let us take up paramagnetic property. It is due to what? What actually paramagnetism? Okay, paramagnetism nothing but weak attraction by the magnetic field. Weak attraction of a substance by the magnetic field is called as what? Paramagnetism. This paramagnetic substance behave like a magnet whenever it is in the magnetic field. So as long as it is in the magnetic field, it behaves like magnet. Okay, that is, it is induced magnetic field, influenced. If you remove the magnetic field, if you remove the substance from the field, it is no more like magnet. So this kind of substances can be used as what? Temporary. ನಮಗೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ಬೇಕೋ ಆವಾಗ ಅದನ್ನು ಏನಾಗಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೋದು? ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೋದು. ನಮಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದಾಗ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೋದು ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟ್ ಆಗಿ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ತೆಗೆದುಬಿಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೌ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಆರ್ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ permanent, no temporary magnets. Okay, these are temporary magnets. They behave like magnets only in the presence of magnetic field. This kind of substances are weakly attracted by the magnetic field. This is because of paramagnetism is because of due to the presence of one or more unpaired electrons. One or more unpaired electrons. See, if I take oxygen molecule, diatomic oxygen, I am going to apply molecular orbital theory. According to molecular orbital theory, its electronic configuration is sigma 1s2, sigma star 1s2, sigma 2s2, sigma star 2s2, pi ಬರ್ತದ sigma 2pz2, pi 2px2 equal to pi 2py2. ಸರಿನಾ? ಓಕೆ, ಎಷ್ಟಾಯಿತು? 10, 14 ಆಯಿತು. 14 ಆಯಿತು. ದೆನ್ pi star 2px1 equal to pi star 2py1. Okay, see, up to here all electrons are paired, right? See the antibonding pi electrons, antibonding pi electrons. Star irodella entaddu antibonding. These are antibonding pi electrons. These antibonding pi electrons are of same energy. They are degenerate. Degeneracy. Doubly degenerate pi star orbitals. They are occupied singly according to Hund's rule. According to Hund's rule, degenerate orbitals are singly occupied first, then only pairing takes place. So according to Hund's rule, they have got singly occupied, hence number of unpaired electrons are 2. Therefore, diatomic oxygen is what? Paramagnetic. Okay. So because of presence of one or more number of unpaired electrons, this kind of substances are exhibiting what? Paramagnetic property, which are weakly attracted by the magnetic field. Such type of examples are there, like copper plus 2. If I take copper plus 2, if you see copper atomic configuration, it is argon. Atomic number of copper 29, argon 4s1 3d 10. Okay. You remove 2 electrons, you are going to get copper plus 2. What is the electronic configuration of copper plus 2? Argon 3d 9, 4s 0. No electron in the 4s orbital. ಮೊದಲು ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಶೆಲ್, ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ಬಿಟಲ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ಹೋದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ತೆಗಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ unpaired electrons, how many unpaired electrons are in copper? How many unpaired electrons are here? D9 means Hund's rule apply ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ನಾವು, right? Singly occupied, then only pairing takes place. How many I have added? 9. How many unpaired I have? 1. So it has 1 unpaired electron. So it is what? Paramagnetic. If I take zinc plus 2, is it paramagnetic? Show. Zinc already ಬರ್ದಿದ್ವಿ ನಾವು. 3d 10, 4s2. 4s2 ಎರಡು ಹೋಯ್ತು. 3d 10. Any unpaired electrons? No. Do you say it is paramagnetic? No. Because there are no unpaired electrons. It is not paramagnetic. So let us recall, paramagnetic substances are those which are weakly attracted by the magnetic field, which can be temporarily magnetized, which show magnetic property due to the presence of one or more number of electrons. Nitric oxide, nitrogen dioxide, okay, chromium trioxide CrO3, titanium monoxide, okay, titanium trioxide, all these are showing what property, which magnetic property, paramagnetic property. Okay, hope it is clear for all. Yes, we shall take up now diamagnetism. Oxygen is paramagnetic due to presence of 2 unpaired electrons according to molecular orbital theory. According to valence bond theory, diatomic oxygen is diamagnetic. Valence bond theory ಏನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ? Valence bond theory, organic chemistry, bonding. Valence bond theory says that covalent bonds are formed due to the overlapping of half-filled orbitals. Half-filled orbitals overlapping takes place, a bond is formed. When half-filled orbitals of opposite spinning electrons are overlapped, electrons get paired up. That means when 2 atoms combine to form a molecule, all electrons must get paired. Hence, all molecules according to valence bond theory should not show attraction towards the magnetic field. Okay, they are not magnetic, that means they are not paramagnetic. According to VBT, O2 molecule is diamagnetic. That is the main drawback of valence bond theory. Okay, that is why molecular orbital theory came into work. Okay, molecular orbital theory ಬಂದಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ valence bond theory fail ಆಯಿತು ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಕಡೆ. So new theory put forward by whom? Who proposed molecular orbital theory? ನಮ್ಗೆ ಎದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕ್ರಿ? ಯಾಕೆ ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ? ಇವಾಗ ಸಾಲಿಡ್ಸ್ ಓದಕತ್ತೀವಿ, ಸಾಲಿಡ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ. Recall who proposed molecular orbital theory. One more question I have told you. Why carbon is in the 14 group along with the silicon members, silicon germanium. It is a member of 14 group, but it is not showing semiconducting property. Why? Okay. Innond question ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ? Who proposed molecular orbital theory as well as valence bond theory? ಎರಡರದ್ದು ಯಾರು ಪ್ರಪೋಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಡಯಾಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಸಮ್. Diamagnetism opposite of paramagnetism means it is weakly attracted, that is weakly repelled by the magnetic field. It is weakly repelled by the magnetic field. It cannot be magnetized in the same direction. It can be magnetized but in the opposite direction. Diamagnetic substances can be weakly magnetized but in the opposite direction. These are showing weak repulsion from the magnetic field. This diamagnetism is due to the presence of paired electrons, or you can say due to the absence of unpaired electrons. Okay, when all the electrons are paired, then we say the substance is diamagnetic. When there is no single unpaired electron, then it is diamagnetic. Examples, simple examples are there like H2O. You can take copper +1. You can take zinc +2. Okay, vanadium +5. Iron plus no, iron barala. Okay, we can take scandium +3. Such type of examples are there in which all electrons are paired. Sodium chloride. In sodium chloride, you see sodium chloride. How is sodium chloride? Sodium hegide +1, chloride hegide -1. Sodium, how many electrons it has now? 10. Andre neon tara. Chlorine ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು electrons ಇವೆ? 18. ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾವ ಥರ? ಆರ್ಗಾನ್ ಥರ. So in sodium chloride, sodium is like neon and chloride is like argon. Any unpaired electrons you see in helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon? No, completely filled orbitals. So sodium chloride is an example of diamagnetic substance. Similarly, you can take any such examples like copper sulfate you can take, like potassium chloride you can take. ಎಲ್ಲದರಲ್ಲೂ ಕ್ಯಾಟಯಾನ್ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಬಲ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಗರೇಷನ್ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಆನಯಾನ್ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಬಲ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಗರೇಷನ್ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಇನ್ ಆಲ್ ದೋಸ್ ಕೇಸಸ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ paired. If all the electrons are paired, then we say it is diamagnetic. You should again list the differences between paramagnetic and diamagnetic substances. Why methane is diamagnetic? No unpaired electrons. ಏನಾರ ಕೊಡಲಿ ಅದು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್. ವೈ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಯಾಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಎಕ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಝೆಡ್ ಏನಾರ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರಲಿ, ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಗಿವ್ ದ ಆನ್ಸರ್. ನೋ ಅನ್ಪೇರ್ಡ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್. ವೈ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್? ಪ್ರೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅನ್ಪೇರ್ಡ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಹೀಗಿದ್ರೆ ಕ್ವಶನು, ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ದ ಪ್ರೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಅನ್ಪೇರ್ಡ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್? ದಿಸ್ ಅಂದಿನ ಯಾವುದಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಅನ್ಪೇರ್ಡ್? ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, 1 2 3 ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅವಾಗ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರಾಗಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು, ಜನರಲ್ಲಾಗಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಕೊಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಹೌ ವೈ copper +2 is paramagnetic due to the presence of how many unpaired electrons? Copper +2 ಅಂದೆ. copper +2 ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಗರೇಷನ್ ಏನಿದೆ? 3d9. 3d9 ಎಷ್ಟು ಅನ್ಪೇರ್ಡ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ? ಹೌದಾ? ವೈ oxygen, diatomic oxygen molecule is paramagnetic due to the presence of how many unpaired electrons? 2 unpaired electrons. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್, ಜನರಲ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು ಹೇಳಿದೆ ನಾನು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ, ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಮೂವ್ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಟು ಫೆರೋಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್. ವೆರಿ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಫೆರೋಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಸ್. ಇದೆರಡು ರುಟೀನ್. ಇದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಡಿ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಓದ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು, ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಸಮ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡಯಾಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಸಮ್. ಫೆರೋಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಸಮಿಗೆ ಬರೋಣ. There are some group of elements in the periodic table. Periodic table ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಇದೆ, 3b ಗ್ರೂಪ್. 3b 8th group of the periodic table. 8th group of the periodic table, ಅದರೊಳಗೆ ಎ ಬಿ ಇಲ್ಲ 8th ಗ್ರೂಪಲ್ಲಿ. Roman 8 I said. Roman 8 I said, or else I should give the number, regular number like iron, cobalt, nickel, the groups ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Iron, cobalt, nickel. See, scandium 3rd, titanium 4, okay, vanadium 5, chromium 6, manganese 7, andre 8, 9, 10. Elements of the group 8, 9, 10. Iron, cobalt, nickel. These elements, along with these elements, one of the element of the lanthanide series, 4f block series, that is gadolinium, GD, gadolinium. These elements, along with these elements, some more compounds are there. These are strongly attracted by the magnetic field. Paramagnetic weakly attracted, diamagnetic weakly repelled, whereas ferromagnetic substances are strongly attracted by the magnetic field. They have got very high magnetic moment. Okay, these can be permanently magnetized. Once the magnetic field ಒಳಗೆ ಇಟ್ಟ ಮೇಲೆ ಅವು ಪರ್ಮನೆಂಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. Okay, why it happens? So how these are having very high magnetic field. ಐರನ್ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಐರನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ ಮಹಾ ಅಂದರೆ 3d6 4s2 ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಗರೇಷನ್. ಇದರೊಳಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟಿವೆ ವೇಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್, ಅನ್ಪೇರ್ಡ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ 4 ಶೋರ್ ಎಸ್ 4 ಅನ್ಪೇರ್ಡ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ದೇರ್. ಕೋಬಾಲ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಯಿತು 1, 3 ಆರ್ ದೇರ್. ನಿಕ್ಕೆಲಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೂ ಒಂದು ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಯಿತು 2 ಅನ್ಪೇರ್ಡ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್. ಇದರೊಳಗೆ 4 ಇವೆ, ಇದರೊಳಗೆ 3 ಇವೆ, ಇದರೊಳಗೆ 2 ಇವೆ. ಆದ್ರೂ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಶೋಯಿಂಗ್ ವಾಟ್ ವೆರಿ ಹೈ magnetic moment, strong magnetic moment. Reason ಏನು? Reason is, here it is, explanation ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. We know in a solid crystals there are group of metals. We call that group of metals as domains. Group of metals are called as domains. A cluster of group or a geometrical arrangement of one group of atoms is called as domains. In these domains, the spinning electrons are spinning randomly. Not in any one direction. They are spinning in different directions, in all possible directions. So these are the parallel, anti-parallel or randomly spinning domains are present. Electrons in these domains are not spinning in one direction, either parallel direction or anti-parallel direction. They are spinning randomly. This is the arrangement of electrons or domains in what kind of substances? Ferromagnetic substances. When I keep this in the field of magnet, this is the field of magnet. Okay, when I place the substance in the magnetic field, all domains align in the direction of the magnetic field. Randomly arranged domains or electrons align in the direction of the magnetic field. So what happens to the magnetic moment? Suddenly increases. ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದೇ ಕಡೆ ಸ್ಪಿನ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಹೈ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಮೊಮೆಂಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಾಕ್ ವೈಸ್ ಸ್ಪಿನ್ನಿಂಗು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಆ್ಯಂಟಿ ಕ್ಲಾಕ್ ವೈಸ್ ಸ್ಪಿನ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಎರಡೂ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲಾಕ್ ವೈಸ್ ಸ್ಪಿನ್ನಿಂಗೇ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸ್ಪಿನ್ನು. ಸೊ ಸ್ಪಿನ್ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾದಂಗೆಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಮೊಮೆಂಟ್ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. Randomly oriented or spinning domains get oriented in the direction of the magnetic field, hence magnetic moment suddenly increases. This arrangement persists for a long time even after the removal of the magnetic field. Therefore this substance now behave like a permanent magnet. Such type of all substances are said to be what? Ferromagnetic substances. Read this, important for the all kind of exams. Domains andre enu? What are domains? 1 mark question. Get the answer for domains. Compare ferromagnetism with paramagnetism. Where empty space is there, you can draw this diagram. Chikkadag diagram draw ಮಾಡಿ. Random domains becomes unidirectional domains. ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್, ವಿಡಿಯೋ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟೇಪ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗ್ತವೆ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟ್ಸ್. ಮೊಬೈಲ್ಸಲ್ಲೂ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಗೊತ್ತದಾ? ಮೊಬೈಲಲ್ಲಿ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟ್, ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ರ್ ಒಳಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟ್ಸ್, ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟ್ರ್ ಒಳಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಮಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಡಿಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತ್ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್, ಡಯಾಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್, ಫೆರೋಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್, ಯಾವ್ದು ಬೇಕೋ ಅದನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಯು ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಸಮ್ ಮೋರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಫೆರೋಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್. chromium dioxide, CrO2, chromium dioxide, europium oxide, EuO, europium oxide. Okay, yes, is it clear for all? Can you define domain? Can you define domain after reading the paragraph? Yes, group of metal ions. Okay. Okay, okay. Now let us take up anti-ferromagnetism. Okay, anti-ferromagnetism is again because of the presence of domains in parallel spinning and anti-parallel spinning. Randomly spinning irodilla. In this ferrimagnetic, anti-ferromagnetic substances, you will find domains in the parallel spinning and anti-parallel spinning domains like this. Okay, parallel spinning and anti-parallel spinning domains are present, but these parallel spinning and anti-parallel spinning domains are present in equal number of parallel and anti-parallel spinning. Parallel andre clockwise, anti-parallel andre anti-clockwise. Spinning domains are present but in equal number. So this spin cancels with the anti-parallel spin. Parallel and anti-parallel cancels. Parallel and anti-parallel cancels. Therefore, their magnetic moment is equal to what? 0 Bohr magneton. So they are not at all showing magnetic property, not attracted by the magnetic field. They strongly repel from the magnetic field. Similarly, diamagnetic. These are similar to diamagnetism. We say here diamagnetism is due to the presence of all paired electrons, whereas here domains are of equal number of parallel spinning and anti-parallel spinning domains are present. Such type of materials are called as anti-ferromagnetic substances. Ferrimagnetic substances are those in which parallel and anti-parallel spinning domains are present but in unequal number. ಒಂದು ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ these are showing some magnetic property. Okay, in this way you should note the differences between anti-ferromagnetic and ferrimagnetic substances. ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಇದೆ, ಏನು ಅಂದರೆ we can convert these anti-ferromagnetic and ferrimagnetic substances into paramagnetic substances. Sorry, paramagnetic substances. Okay, ಹಿಂಗೆ ತೋರಿಸಿ ನಾಲ್ಕಂದಂಗೆ, ಹೌದಲ್ಲ, ಹಿಂಗೆ ತೋರಿಸಿ ನಾಲ್ಕಂದಂಗೆ ಆಯ್ತದೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಇಂಟು paramagnetic by heating. By heating we can convert anti and ferrimagnetic substance into paramagnetic substance. The temperature above which this transition takes place is called as Curie temperature. It is considered as what? Curie temperature. Fe2O3, Fe3O4 is what? Anti-ferromagnetic substance. No, ferrimagnetic substance. You see the example, ferrimagnetic, Fe3O4. Yes, Fe3O4 is ferrimagnetic. This ferrimagnetic substance is converted into paramagnetic substance at a temperature equal to 577 degrees Celsius. ಅಂದರೆ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ? 850, 273 ಸೇರಿಸಿ, at 273, 850 Kelvin. 850 Kelvin. So for this mixed oxide of iron, we call this as mixed oxide because it is a combination of FeO and Fe2O3. ಎರಡು ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇದು ಬರುತ್ತಾ? ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ? Yes, it is called as magnetic oxide of iron. It is ferrimagnetic. We are converting it into paramagnetic by heating. Above this 850 Kelvin, it is converted into paramagnetic. So the Curie temperature of magnetic oxide of iron is 850. The temperature above which a ferrimagnetic substance becomes paramagnetic is called as Curie temperature. Ferrimagnetism is due to the presence of parallel spinning and anti-parallel spinning domains in unequal number. Okay, ಅದು ಕೆಳಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Ferrimagnetic substances can be converted into paramagnetic substances by heating. Add Curie temperature. Curie temperature is the temperature above which a ferrimagnetic substance becomes paramagnetic. Example, the Curie temperature of Fe3O4 is 850 Kelvin. Okay, add some more examples for what? Antiferromagnetic substances. Add some more examples like cobalt oxide COO 1:1 COO. Okay, nickel oxide 1:1. Nickel oxide ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, nickel oxide 1:1 ಅಂದರೆ Ni1O1 ಒಂದೊಂದು, right? Mn manganese oxide 2:3. Manganese oxide 2:3, Mn2O3. Manganese oxide 1:2. Manganese oxide 1:2. Okay, these are examples for antiferromagnetic substances. Okay.